into cloud computing because these are some stocks that your team has really liked, and they haven't really performed all that well, but then all of a sudden they caught fire, they took off.
Yes, well, we talked about VMW. VMW, CRM, we'll get into all of them. These have been our two institutional quality stocks that we've said if you're an active investor, you could hold these as well as trade them. And yesterday, VMW came out with unbelievable numbers. It's opening in new highs. If you take a look at the chart, you will see, we've talked about this many times. All right, last time being, the buy above this, what was this, around 96, and then it flagged again. Okay, this was the 104 actionable area, and now we're opening at new highs. So at this particular point, I don't want to see, the active or investor go out and just buy it today at 112 considering the size of the move. I'd like to see if you did hold it and you held it through those earnings, now sell some. Okay, also sell some in the money calls because it is a bit extended.
Right, they did come out with those second quarter earnings. Profit more than doubled. I mean, 50 cents versus 18 cents a year ago. Those were some astounding numbers. It was really nice. Now, Salesforce, let's talk about that. CNBC called it one of the best cloud plays out there. So is it too late to get into this?
No, CRM has also been one of those that it's been acting technically well. It's above all the moving averages. I've given you active areas to get involved many times, and it is opening at new highs today. I tried to show you this base a few months back, showing you how for the past 9 months it's been accumulating, rounding up, and then yesterday had a nice breakout move. It's opening at new highs. At this particular point, it's always hard to invest and buy scenarios at new highs. That's why we try and give you the active approach, the right price. Here it's a little trickier. So I would just say, if you're gonna have to get involved, stay in light. But I would stay away from it now because it is extended. And back with VMW, we could see the same scenario we saw with Wynn. Wynn has been, a quality stock, the best in breed in the casinos. We talked about entries and exits there. It gapped up about 5-6 points after really good earnings also, but it was priced in. So these strong stocks are at new highs, that come out with great earnings. That's not the entry, that's the excitement. That's your reward if you were there and you did your homework. So that's your reward to sell, and then we look for another pattern here. But we're also, you look in this group, and you saw Riverbed come out with numbers.
And they were not so good. They're kind of disappointing. It's affected some of them. Let's talk about Acme Packet because they're reporting on Thursday. I'm hearing there might be a chance they might miss. So that could be a little disturbing. The stock has not shown a lot of strength lately. See?
Well, if you go to this chart, you have the haves and have-nots. We've talked about the stealth bull market in certain stocks and some laggards. Okay, this one is in the bottom end of the range, not at the top end of the range like we saw in VMW and CRM. So it's the bottom end. So if you take a step back and look at RVBD, it also was in the bottom end of the range. And typically, or not even the bottom end, a little bit higher. Typically, institutions know what's going on beforehand. So this one actually this one's a surprise because this one has been acting well. People had high expectations. That's why it's getting so punished. So quickly here for a trade, watch this 32 area. If you think that this is a one-quarter wonder, this would be a spot to probably enter RVBD for the long term. As far as APKT, you really need to love this story or think that you have a long-term time horizon because as far as technically, it's not acting well. And if there are some whispers that you can get a bad report, we just saw one in Riverbed, so why not here?
Right. Well, when you see something like Salesforce come out and beat by 20 cents, and then you have Acme come out and beat by 1 penny, the market moves away. You've seen that with F5 too. F5 decelerating growth, so it's made people a little nervous. And then with Riverbed, I don't know.
Right.
Let's
so
look at
F5, that has also been a lower tier. Again, quality. VMW, CRM, the other ones have been catch-up plays, and they're not as good. So if you look at F5V, it's down a little bit. Again, this one is at the bottom end of the range. Look what happened the last time it disappointed. Huge gap, huge hole. Okay, at this point, I would say you don't need to be in all of these. I wouldn't recommend buying FFIV on this weakness.
All right, well, Scott, we've got some interesting companies going public this week, especially on Wednesday, which is today. But we're going to go to a commercial. When we come back, we're going to talk about those.